D-Unit run things. Whole league noting. 3 big sides in his hand. Whole crowd sing his name. Mighty Saw Park, crowd so loud. Dolleton jump, Breedle proud. 1 man chill on the touchline still. 3 teams move, how he will beat Rahi quick. Beat Morant clean. Look, Avi, how feel the heat. Every ground, same story again. Scoreboard light up his name. D-Unit, D-Unit. Greatest of all time. Running 3 clubs on the same headline. From South Park Road to Breedle Sky. Bellyton dance with a rivals cry. D-Unit, D-Unit. Thunder in the stand. Boss of the league with a master plan. Raise your hands high when the teams walk through. Everything win when he points at you. Everything win when he points at you. One out front, ice cold calm, 1/2 chance, hit like a storm, net shake mad, crowd jump fence, hold back line, lose their sense, roll take a ball when the South Park sun, last home game but the work all done, legend walk slow, tears in his eye, D-Unit, clap with a fist up high, D-Unit, D-Unit, greatest of all time, running 3 clubs on the same headline, from South Park Road to Breedle Sky, Bellyton dance with a rivals cry, D-Unit, D-Unit, thunder in the stand, boss of the league with the master plan. Raise your hands high when the teams walk through. Everything win when he points at you. Everything win when he points at you. Who beat Rahi? D-Unit. Who beat Murat? D-Unit. Luca Navi? D-Unit. Ox the league. Who run it? 3 big badges, 1 big brain, 3 home crowd scream his name. From first kick-off to the last full time, he rewrite the history line. D-Unit, D-Unit, greatest of all time, running 3 clubs on the same headline, from South Park Road to Breedle Sky, Dolleton dance when the rivals cry. D-Unit, D-Unit, thunder in the stand, boss of the league with the master plan, 1 score wave goodbye fight 2, whole world know that he built his crew. Everything win when he points at you. Everything win when he points at you.
And I've just realised I've been muted the entire time. D-Unit, absolute special. Absolute special, as usual. D-Unit with the absolute kajunas, don't know what you want to call it, but I've literally just sat there and said, I'm not even going to repeat what I said. Either way, game week 30, 9 game weeks to go, folks. And the D-Unit is here to bring it all with you, and I can't believe I muted that. That is just criminal. That's really bad. That's going to be really bad. When people would listen to back that on audio, they're going to hear nothing for like a minute of me rambling. Hilarious. Anyway, how did we get on in game week 29? It was a 52-point score in the end, minus the hit. Obviously, yes, you can say D-Unit, why'd you bench Gabriel? But in reality, I looked at Mateus Nunes, and I've got too much faith in Liverpool. As a Man United fan, that pains me. It pains me having to say that. Hopefully my nipple doesn't fall out of the shirt either. Sorry. By the way, if you're listening to this with your 5-year-old son, turn it up. Maybe put your earphones in next time. But I appreciate the comment. But I generally don't swear. I can't help some of my sayings. They just come out of my mouth, and that's the way it is. Anyway, we brought Sade and Ekatike in. That wasn't overly fabulous. Wirtz and Haaland, they didn't do much either, let's be fair. Wirtz didn't even show up. Haaland was like, whatever. João Pedro coming off the bench for 19 points. He is now officially on the end of season trip. He is on the end of season trip, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be meet me up with the Rice baby and the Harry Bloody Wilson and the Phil Foden. He's going to be in Ibiza with me, partying it away. Gabriel, maybe not so much. I mean, 11 points on the bench is not what the doctor ordered. And to be honest, it was one of them weeks where I think a lot of people's teams looked a bit like mine. You had 3 or 4 players bang, and then literally everyone else did nothing. Like, literally everyone else did nothing. And I suppose that's all that needs to be said about that. Let's move on to game week 30 and hope. Literally, my aim is the next 9 weeks, 100,000 a week gain in rank. That is the plan, and finish inside the top 100K. Obviously, we've still got all the chips. It's still definitely achievable, and I've got to believe to the end that I can do it. So on to the flop and the star of the week. And Brian and Boom, I'm telling you, like, I have considered selling this fraud because, look, it's painful enough watching Man United when we lose. It's more painful when you've got double Man United. One of them happens to do diddly squat and gets himself yellow carded for just being a nonce. So, Brian and Boomo, consider this your on warning, mate, because if you don't pull your socks up this week, you might be going. You might not be there on the wild card, mate. Wild card 32. In fact, I'm pretty confident Brian and Boomo would not be on it. I've considered selling him this week as well. But the star of the week, I mean, João Pedro. Why did I bench him? Why? Thank God he was first on the bench. 19 points. He literally saved my game week single-handedly. And that dude, the transfer in for Thiago, what was it, 5 weeks ago? My God, what a brilliant decision that was. He's made so many points in that time. There is no way that anyone can say that that was not worth a hit when I did it, because this dude has literally gone ballistic. He's gone nuclear since I've got him. And he just keeps dropping point bombs on my team, which is fantastic for me. So that means he's joining the D-Unit party. The Rice baby. He's on the end of summer season party. And I can tell you what, João Pedro is also going to be joining us on the summer beach party. He's got his beer. He's got his Bing Tang. He might be going up to Bali. Obviously, Rice has still got his bottle of water because they still might bottle the league. But João Pedro is definitely on it about, and I can just see that the internet's doing some weird stuff again. Hopefully it pulls itself together. I did check everything before I started as well. That's really frustrating. It's done that. Anyway, moving on. Fixture difficulty rating, game week 30 to 35. By the way, I am recording this, so if it does go pear-shaped, you just watch it back. It should be good. But hopefully with a little bit of luck. Oh, it's sorting itself out again. Maybe it just had a momentary... yes, there's deadline tomorrow night. Yep. Keep your questions coming. I will get to that in a little bit. In terms of the fixture difficulty rating, I want to talk about Spurs. Now, I said at the start of the season that Spurs were crap. And my God... do I look like a genius now? Now, it took a while to come about. They started off well. They got those couple of clean sheets. The Spurs fans were getting a bit giddy because they were doing well in the Champions League against Farmers during the farming group stage. Well, tell you what, I think they've made an error. I actually think they would have been better off holding on to Thomas Frank, because they've sacked Thomas Frank and they've brought in a bloke that literally doesn't look like he should be a manager. I actually think I could do a better job of that Spurs team than Igor, whatever his name is, Igor Tudor or whatever. That dude, I mean, the goalkeeper hadn't played for like, what was it, 4 or 5 months, and he just chucks him in. And I mean, and then he subbed him off. I mean, he should, if I was Tudor, I would have sacked myself. I would have just sat there and offered my resignation during the press conference, because that was embarrassing. And I really feel for Kinski. No player that's a goalkeeper should never have to be subjected to a 17th minute sub when you're not injured. I remember last season when I went to the Premier League and we're watching Amarins United against Newcastle at home, and Joshua Zirkzee was subbed off in the first half, and I felt kind of bad on reflection for him being taken off, but we all know I don't like Zirkzee and he should never have been starting in the first place. But when it's a goalkeeper, I mean... it's just so Spurs. I mean, none of their players want to even play. Like, what motivation is there for Spurs players to come back from injury when you could just sit there and let the club get relegated and leave for cheap in the summer? I know what I'd be doing, and I really feel for Spurs fans out there, but your club has become a basket case this season. I think it's just going to come down to who is more competent between Spurs, Nottingham Forest, Leeds and West Ham, and whoever's the most least competent out of those 4 teams, and at the moment it looks like Spurs by a country distance, they're getting relegated. And I don't care whether Spurs are a big club, whatever, and they've got a 60,000 seat stadium. Well, I tell you what, it's going to be hard to pack out your 60,000 seat stadium when you're in the championship next season. So maybe you need to turn it up on yourselves. Anyways, Forest do actually have a really good fixture run. I got completely blindsided by the Spurs and just wanting to get that off my chest because so long people were saying, oh, you got it wrong about Spurs. I was never wrong about Spurs. It just took 29 game weeks to happen. In terms of Fulham, they're not far ahead now. I know Colm probably is in the chat somewhere. Your team is also on notice, mate. Now, you're not going to get dragged into a relegation battle, but I tell you what, without Harry bloody Wilson in that team, Fulham are rubbish, and Binderson has been put in the bin, and maybe he's going to stay in the bin. So I have to keep an eye on that. And anyways, Forest, Liverpool, Leeds, Brentford, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Sunderland, Bournemouth, they're all pretty good fixtures moving forward. And then the rest, honestly, nothing really to write home about. I mean, Chelsea, ironically, Chelsea did rubbish during the good fixtures, but you're buying Chelsea for the attack. And the attack seems to be immune from the fixture. So for that reason, I think it's happy days. Just don't invest in the defence. And in terms of Everton, lots of people buying Tarkowski, right? Like Tarkowski, one of the most popular transfers this week. Has anyone bothered to look at the fixtures for Everton the next 6 weeks? Arsenal away, Chelsea at home, Brentford away, Liverpool at home, West Ham away, Man City at home. They are not keeping a clean sheet the next 6 weeks. Like, just hands down, they're not going to. I don't understand why people are buying him. I mean, it's the definition of points chasing. Anyway, that's the fixture difficulty rating for game weeks 30 to 35. Let me know what you think in the comments. So on to hot off the press for game week 30, and these are all the updates from all the press conferences. So for Sunderland, Brobby and Kirkin could be back. Mukiele, who I'm obviously waiting on for blank game week 31, he is pushing. There is more likelihood that he'll be ready for next week. It sounded pretty confident that he would be ready for next week, but he's pushing for Newcastle. He's not going to be available this weekend. So if you're a bit like me, with Mukiele sitting last on your bench, you're not going to be able to use him this week, unfortunately. On to Chelsea. Neto's going to serve his ban for obviously getting sent off in the last game. Colwell's back in training from that ACL injury. He's not going to be back anytime soon, but he is back in training. Gittins is back, but honestly, who really cares? I think that they play... if Rosinia plays Gittins, he might as well just sit there and just wave the white flag because Gittins is rubbish. Esteval's still out. They're being very cautious with his hamstring injury there. He then talked about the goalkeeper situation. Oh, my God, and praise for both. I mean, you literally are playing in the Champions League and in the Premier League a worse goalkeeper. Like Jorgensen, I've watched Chelsea, and I know this for a fact. If you don't ask Sanchez to do stupid, idiotic play like passing it out from the back, he's actually a very good goalkeeper. The problem is as soon as you start doing that, you're no good. Jorgensen, though, is a crap goalkeeper. So I don't even understand why he says he's got two good goalkeepers. Your best goalkeeper, you sold to bloody Arsenal in the summer, Kepa. And then you sold the other one to Bournemouth. Petrovic is they arguably sold their better keepers. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, on to West Ham. No Skulls or Traore update. They obviously went off in the FA Cup. No update from there. Nuno's a bit like Arteta, completely unhelpful most of the time. Somerville's going to miss those, so he's going to be missing with a calf. Hopefully it's not too long. That's what basically I took out of that. Potts is back from his ban, and Felipe returned in the FA Cup, and here's another option up forward. So you'd imagine potentially he might get a game because of the fact that Somerville's out, and I don't know who really replaces him in that West Ham team. On to Burnley, Twanzebe, Cullen and Bayer, they're all out. Brojar, Roberts and Amdouni, they are all training, but they're not ready yet. And Fleming and Edwards have a little bit of concern, but he's hopeful that they're good to go. Now, on to Leeds. Now, this is interesting for all those DCL unit owners out there. Apparently, there's a minor concern with his knee. And FYI, the real D-Unit has actually also got a little concern with his calf. And I went to the physio today and got a little bit of work done because, as everyone knows, I got the hair done during the summer and I've been trying to get fit. And I've done slightly too much running. I've literally just strained the back end of the outside of my right calf. So maybe we're both under a little bit of injury cloud, but I reckon I could play if I had to play this weekend. Okafor is a major doubt still. On to Liverpool. Now, this is a really weird press conference. Trigg seems to think how do you say that bloody name? Nugu Moha, his name is going to start. Now, I don't believe he's going to start against Spurs. I mean, you could start me against Spurs and I'd probably score a goal. But I don't think it's the right time. I mean, Slot's under pressure himself. He's not playing good football. Liverpool aren't in a good place. I just don't, unless he's benching Salah, who knows? But essentially he said that he's going to potentially start in the next week. So whether that's this week against Brighton or midweek against Galatasaray at home, God knows what. But in terms of Alisson, he hopes that he's ready for Spurs. But if he's not, he should be good for the return leg in the Champions League. Chiesa also trained. He had some sort of illness, I think, and he should be good to go. I've got a sneaky suspicion there's going to be some weird benchings at Liverpool this weekend. That's just my gut feel. On to Brighton. March and Dunk both fit. Precautionary rest. Matoma, new ankle concern. I mean, he's just had injuries galore this season, has old Matoma. And I'd suggest he's probably just an avoid at this moment in time. So on to Crystal Palace. Glasner's hopeful on Munoz. I mean, there are some people that own him. And honestly, if you've got him, this press conference did nothing to suggest that he wouldn't play or that he would play. But he's hopeful. Mateta made his comeback obviously midweek on the bench. He came on in the second half. He talked about Jorgen Strand-Larsen. Nketiah is still out, injured, probably until the international break. So, yeah, I don't know what to make of that. Honestly, until the wild card and we know whether Crystal Palace are actually going to double or not, I would not be investing in any of them. On the Wolves, Sar's managing an ankle. Apparently, they're hopeful that he'll be all right for the weekend. And Mane, he talked about the fact that he's going to be starting for the 14th time in a row. So congratulations to him. He's having a pretty good season considering how young he is. On the Bournemouth, Senesi and Hill both praised by Iraola. I'm probably trying to work out if I spelled his name right there. I think I did. Too soon for Gannon Doak, whoever that is. I think he plays somewhere in the forward lines. Kluivert and Cook, they're both out as well. I mean, they feel like they've been out all season, those ones. On to Aston Villa. Sancho, if you've got him in your FPL team, he's ineligible to play Man United, so you're going to have to take him out or transfer him. Look, let's be fair, no one's got him. And if you do, you probably shouldn't be playing. On to McGinn, Garcia and Elliott. They're all back now. Elliott returned from God knows. I actually think that they just don't want to pay Liverpool the money to sign him permanently, which is why Elliott's been out. That's my gut read on it. He's probably going to sit on the bench and not get a minute. But McGinn back is a very big in for Aston Villa. Unfortunately, though, they're still without Kamara. They're still without Tielemans. And that means I think their midfield's crap. That's just my personal opinion. Sorry, Villa fans. And then cash check. So not only are we checking the cash at the moment to make sure we can buy bloody petrol, but cash, apparently he's got a calf issue like me and needs to be a bit checked. On to Fulham, big news here. Harry bloody Wilson is in contention to start. So I don't see a world where he doesn't start. If he's fit, he's starting. There's no way he's sitting on the bench. I mean, it's an ankle injury. It's not like it's a muscular injury or he's coming back from a hamstring or a calf or whatever. It's a contact injury. I think he's just going to straight up play, like straight off the gate. And that concerns me because at the moment I've got him on the bench. I reckon the way that Forest are playing, I reckon that Harry Wilson will go pretty good this weekend. By the way, good evening, Peter, the very first ever channel member of the D-Unit channel. I just seen you, buddy. Good evening to you as well. An unnamed doubt. So apparently there is someone under an injury doubt. I've got my thoughts on who that might be. And unfortunately, Raul's father has passed, so that's very unfortunate for him. But he has been training and it looks like he will be available. My guess is that the major doubt is actually Binderson. And I reckon my gut read is that he's the doubt and he's just getting dropped, which is why Silva is putting the news out there that there's an unnamed doubt, because what better way to drop a player than to say, oh, they've got a slight issue and put him on the bench. That's my gut read on Binderson. I reckon that's probably what it is. On to Spurs. Does anyone want to play? That is the question mark. I actually sat there. I looked at all the players out and I was like, does anyone actually want to play for this club? Like, who is going to save it from relegation? Because if they can't all be bothered to be fit or, I mean, a lot of these players have been unfit for the entire season. What are they doing? What is going on with the Spurs medical department? Have they all gone on holiday? Are they all just sitting there waiting for next season in the championship before they decide to come back? I don't know. Anyways, Romero's going to be missing with concussion. Polini is now out as well. Van de Ven is obviously suspended after that red card last week. And Basuma's going to be out as well. Gallagher's been ill and is a question mark, but he should be good. And believe it or not, Vicario's going back in goal. So poor Kinski gets 17 minutes, gets absolutely thrown to the wolves, and then see you later, mate. I mean, they're a bastard. They're going down. I'm very convinced Spurs are going down. On to Nottingham Forest. Ortega is to remain out for a couple more games. Cunha ankle concern, and Ndoye has a minor issue that may or may not keep him out of Gameweek 30. All right, so on to Man United. Carrick annoys me. His press conferences, compared to Amarin's, are just, they're soulless. They are soulless. It's like Nightmare's soul versus Solio. Well, the D-Unit wants a bit of soul like the Amarin, and all we're getting is bloody Carrick with the soulless bloody interviews. Mason Mount's back in training and could play. I mean, who really cares? I do not care if Mason Mount's fit because we all know what's going to happen. The man's going to come back on the field. He's going to last maybe 50, 55, 60 minutes. He might even last 20 minutes when he comes off the bench. And guess what? He'll be back on the injury table in a couple of weeks. Who cares? Sell him. Just rip up his contract. Do something. Otherwise, there was no updates on Martinez and Delit. It is business as usual there. On to Arsenal. This is one of the best press conferences I've ever heard. So there's no fresh injuries or concerns out of Europe. A one-word response to that question was no. And then he gave the classic Arteta response of, let's see, when he was asked about Trossard and Odegaard. I mean, what is the point of actually tuning into it? I don't even know why I bother writing anything next to Arsenal because it's just a pile of crap. And we've had 30 weeks of it. On to Manchester City. Now, Pep Guardiola was asked if Haaland is fit, and he gave a one-word response, yes. But then he went on to say, we'll be making changes for West Ham. Now, he wasn't elaborative with who he was going to be changing for West Ham and who was going to be coming out, whatever. My gut feel, and the more I've thought about it this week, I feel like there could be some benchings that I'm not expecting. So I've got Semenyo on my team, and I'm kind of concerned that he might get benched against West Ham. I don't know why. I've just got a suspicion. And sometimes when you've got a gut feel, sometimes it's horribly wrong and you're an idiot and you shouldn't follow it. But then other times you should and just back yourself in. And I've got a sneaky suspicion about Man City's lineup that it's going to be pretty underwhelming. On to Newcastle. Gordon is good to play after being ill. It's too soon for Lucas Miley. Bruno G is back after the international break. Sorry, Nightmare, you can't buy him back just yet. On to Everton. Coleman, Alcaraz and Grealish, they're all out. There's no new issues. Talked about Braithwaite. Hopefully he'll be okay, he hopes, because apparently he's not used to playing multiple games in a week, but he's had a bit of a rest. He should be sweet. And lastly, on to Brentford. Henry, hamstring. He's out for a couple of weeks. So you'd imagine that probably means that Collins is goodbye, Ager, Vandenberg, and you never know, Lewis Potter might actually be a really sneaky pick. If you want to pick a real differential this week, Lewis Potter might actually get a run out because he got a run out at right back, I think, in the FA Cup. We could see more of the same. Hickey and Janelle, they also remain out. Nelson could return. I mean, he's done nothing for them all season. I mean, what a dud signing he's been. And De Silva is on some sort of training regime, and who knows when he's going to be back. So on the top transfers and for Gameweek 30, as things stand currently, as of time of recording and going live here, the top 5 transfers out. Morgan Rogers, 280,000. Van de Ven, in fairness, I was considering this myself last week, so I can't be too critical, but how the hell did 233,000 managers still have this fraud? Roofs, 213,000 transfers out. Haaland, only 173. So Rogers being sold significantly more than Haaland. And to be honest with you, I'm surprised Haaland's not top. I'm really surprised he's not top. I think you can do a lot with that particular move, particularly if you've got more than one transfer available as well. On to Wilson. I mean, if you sold him, shame on you, because he was always going to be right for 31 and he's probably going to be right for 30. He's probably going to bang too. On to the top transfers in this week. João Pedro, I've got him. Happy days. I've got Bruno Fernandes. Happy days. I've got Semenyo. Happy days. Senesi and Anderson. Look, they got big hauls last week. Let's be fair. Senesi got 11. Anderson got 12. And honestly, if there was one player I could pick up from any other team in the Premier League and drop him into Man United, it's Anderson. The Forest Anderson. Let that go on record. Not the Fulham one. And I just think he's a great move. And look, honestly, he might actually end up in the top 5 midfielders this season because every single week he's getting 4 points minimum. It's insane. He's just so consistent. It's just a matter of whether you want to chase the ceiling scores at this time of the year or if you just want to play boring, steady Eddie. For me, I just can't do it. Sorry, folks. So on to the essentials then for Game Week 30. And yes, Bruno Fernandes is essential. I still can't believe he's under 50% owned. There are, of time of recording, Haaland's more owned, João Pedro's more owned, Semenyo's more owned, I'm pretty sure Gabriel's more owned. Like, that's 4 other players more owned than Bruno Fernandes. This dude, I know people might say I'm a little bit biased. I'm a Man United fan after all. He's the best player in the game. He's the best player in the game by some distance. And I know that the points, he will finish on top of the points at the end of the season. I've got no doubt about it. he's going to go ballistic over the last 9 weeks. And he's not in Europe. He's playing 90 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if he averaged close to 10 points a game from here through to the end of the season. Ekitike, now, I was toying up whether he was a trap or essential. I think he's essential. That Spurs team, without any defence, even if he starts on the bench, he's going to come on right. And if he comes on for 30 minutes against that tiring Spurs shambolic defence that's there, he'll still score multiple goals. He doesn't need a full game to wreck Spurs, I don't think. So I've gone with Ekitike because I still think that he is probably the most clinical of Liverpool assets this season. And then Thiago, he plays in the last game this game week against Wolves at home. Now, Wolves away, I'll grant, is a much harder fixture than what the FDR currently gives it credit for, and I've changed my own for that. But away from home, they're still no good. And I expect Thiago and Brentford to really ramp home the advantage on Monday Night Football. I'd be shocked if they didn't, to be honest. So on to the treats. Yes, Gary, I give you permission. You can go and buy FPL Reviewed, Gary Viewed Tavernier. I think that he is a very good pick this week. I think if I was buying a Bournemouth player, he would be the one. And I know he only cost 5.3, but he's just got so much about him. Like I just think back to when Bournemouth came to Old Trafford and Tavernier got a goal and an assist, and I think he might have even got 2 assists. I can't remember. He got a huge haul that day, and ever since then I was like going, he's quality. The issue is his injury record. So I wouldn't want to own him like long term, but for a 2-week or a 1-week play, hell yeah. And I reckon that he's 100% a treat this week. I can't see a world where he doesn't return. Kevin Sade, I think that he comes good this week. I've got a sneaky... Well, there's a big week coming for Kevin Sade. And I reckon it's either this week or next week, or it could be both. Hopefully it's both because I own the bastard. But hopefully Sade can deliver the goods. And I think Verts, like so many people looking at dirty 2-point Dom. I mean, every time I sit there and I'm like going, I look at the dirty Dom's ownership, I see it going up. I'm like going, man, there is now about that player in the Premier. FYI, for the record, I own him in UCL Fantasy. I own dirty, well, what turns out to be about 7-point Dom in the UCL because that's his level. But he even got found out in the knockouts midweek. So I don't know. I think Verts is the one. Verts is the treat. Dirty Dom's not the treat. He's just he was close to ending up in the traps again. But I've got a few other ones there this week. So the traps, you better believe it. Haaland captain is a trap. I refuse to. I know his record against West Ham. I'm well and truly aware this dude has scored multiple hat-tricks against him. I mean, his record actually against West Ham is insanely good. The problem is, Man City aren't in good form. Haaland is not scoring goals, and he's not scoring the rate that he was at the beginning of the season. And I think that if you want to do what Gary did last game week and follow the sheep and captain Haaland because you're scared about him, the best advice I can give is just sell him so you're not even tempted to captain him. Because once you do that, you're liberated. It's like, there's actually a meme later on that Luke put together for me. There's the liberation of, I can't remember what it was, paying off your mortgage, doing something. And then the best one is selling Haaland because you feel so liberated. You're like, I don't even have to think about captaining this fraud anymore. The next trap though, and I think a lot of people will probably fall for this, is selling Haaland and going to Salah. I would not be surprised if both of them got benched on the weekend. I literally would not be surprised. And look, I know a lot of the big dogs say that they're not going to get benched, whatever. I'm not so sure that they don't get benched. I feel like all 3 of these players could get benched this week. And let's talk about Binderson. I mean, he's going up against the superior Anderson. Let's be fair. Joachim Binderson is nowhere near as good a player as Elliot Anderson. That's just hands down a fact. Fulham actually look better defensively when that fraud's not in the team. So I don't know if Colm's going to agree with me being a Fulham fan, but I think that you play better without him. I think that the Premier League just needs to wave him goodbye. Where's he from? Sweden, Norway? Send him back there. He's not fit for the Premier League anymore, and I'm sick of hearing about him in FPL, and he can go firmly in the bin, back where he belongs. The clean sheets are completely dried up for Fulham. He's the dud asset, let's be fair. So on to the blanks doubles in Europe. Now, I'm going to cover this because I'm not going to spend too long on this because I know it does bore the crap out of some people. It bores the crap out of me because I just hear people overblowing these blanks and doubles like they're through the roof. If Liverpool somehow don't overturn the Galatasaray result, if Man City, let's be fair, Man City are out, Chelsea are out, Spurs are out. If Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea are all out of the Champions League, there won't be a bloody double or blank game week because they'll be able to play in game week 34. Like, it doesn't even matter if they progress in the FA Cup. The only team I think that we can almost guarantee that will double and blank is Arsenal and Newcastle. I don't see a world where Arsenal just don't get the business done against Leverkusen. The other ones, though, I reckon it's firmly in the balance. Even Crystal Palace drew at home and they were expected to win. So even Crystal Palace, who, could double, they might not even double because of the fact that they lose away next week, then they can play in the normal game week as well. So, like, just don't listen to the crap. Like, the crap that's being spouted out, there is a very big chance that the double and blank is going to be exceptionally small. Exceptionally small. Trig, that's all I'm going to spend on it. So that's for you, baby. But I've been told you, I told Trig, I told Nightmare, all season long, the blank and double game weeks are always blown out of proportion. By the time we get round to game week 32, they're pretty much going to be non-existent at the rate these results are going. So just don't sit there expecting huge doubles. And like, I think this comes back to, I didn't care about playing my bench boost in a double game week. I think I just play it when I've got 15 good looking fixtures, because the doubles aren't going to be there. You're not going to have bloody 15 players that are doubling. And if you do, half of them are probably going to be arse. So I just wouldn't be going there anyway. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking about that. Enough of the blanks and doubles. No one wants to talk about that crap. So I'm the best 1 week punts then for game week 30. And look, Hincapi is definitely the one for me in terms of the defender. I mean, I can't believe he's only 0.8% owned. Now, unbelievably, I can't believe this. He's only got 4 clean sheets from his 17 starts, which is not a very good record when you compare it to the rest of the Arsenal defence. But I like what I've seen. And I don't think he's going to lose his spot to Calafiori. I think that he's actually overtaking Calafiori because Calafiori is a bit too injury prone. And I can't see Arsenal conceding against Everton. So I just think that he's a lock for 6 points this week. Tavernier, Sade, they're both going to bang this week. I don't know who's going to score more points out of Sade and Tavernier, but they're both going to bang. I'm very confident that they both could end up with 10 plus figure point hauls. And I've gone for a roughie in the forward line this week just because of the fact that Fulham aren't very good defensively away from home. And I feel like Igor Jesus might be able to profit. I was tempted to go the DCL unit away at Palace, but I thought I'd go something a little bit spicy, a little bit different, and I'm going to go with Igor Jesus as my forward punt this week. I obviously own one of them. I did consider buying Tavernier as well this week, but I just can't justify it with the team that I've currently got. So on to the game week 30 captains, you better bloody believe it. There's no Salah, there's no Haaland here. I don't think they're actually in the top 8 captain choices this week. I think they are complete and utter avoids. So my honest gut feel. However, I have included in there. You could look at Haaland, you could look at Virgil, you could look at Vert, Salah, Sade, Semenyo. But I think the top 8, and I'm going to talk through why I think these are the top 8. Gabriel's playing Everton at home. You'd almost say that's a guarantee for 6 points floor with the clean sheet. He's high likelihood chance of getting the DC points, which would take him to 8. And if he gets to 8 points and they keep a clean sheet and they don't score multiple goals, he's probably sitting on a double figure haul just for playing the game. Like, that's where Gabriel's kind of at. I think that he's actually, no one's talking about him as well. But when I was putting this together, I was like, I think he's in the top 8. Let's talk about Saka then, because obviously he's the other one. And look, I've picked a few roughies in here. Like, Saka's form since the double game week's actually been pretty good. Like, he's had a couple of blanks in there, but he's actually had some decent scores in there as well. And again, I feel like when I wildcard, I think I'm going to buy Saka, Palmer, and Bruno Fernandes, and that's going to be my midfield. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but I just think that Saka could go big here against Everton as well. I really like him. If you're after a real roughie and you're willing to brave the very first game of the game week, Tavernier against Burnley is definitely my pick of the cheap options this week. He just looks, he could go big. He could really go big, and I quite like him. And look, I heard Nightmare talk about him on his team selection video, and look, if I was in Nightmare's position, I'd captain him. at 1.6, 1.7 mil, whatever it is, I'd just captain him and hope it absolutely bangs because I really feel like it could. Then let's talk about Liverpool. I think the only Liverpool player I would consider captaining this week is Ekitike because he's the only one I think that's actually in any kind of form. And obviously Wirtz has been missing because I was originally going to include Wirtz instead of Ekitike. I was like, I'm just not so sure on his minutes. I just don't see a world where Ekitike doesn't dominate in this game. And I just think he bangs. So I think that he's the reason why I included him. Then we've got Thiago, right? Thiago's got actually the lowest, other than Tavernier and Ekitike. He's actually got the lowest points per game out of these options. However, he plays against Wolves. He's on Monday Night Football. And I know how good it feels when you've got your captain in the last game of the game week and he bangs. Because it can really rocket your rank upwards. And it's just a nice feeling. So I feel like Thiago definitely needs consideration. He is a real roughie because I don't think many people will go there because Brentford have been fairly disappointing, and Thiago in particular, but he scored a brace against West Ham in the FA Cup, so it's not like he's not in form. He just scored twice in one game. So I wouldn't be too concerned about him. Then we've got the Chelsea boys. Now, I'm betting on here that Newcastle play accordingly, and I reckon Eddie Howe rotates a few of those players, and I reckon Chelsea run roughshod over them. And if they run roughshod over them, Newcastle are very good at conceding penalties this season, which is why Cole Palmer is definitely in the conversation for the top 8 this week. So is João Pedro because of the form that he's been in. I actually don't think you could go wrong with either of them as captain this week, and I am very tempted to bring in Cole Palmer. And I know he's a doubt because obviously he played in Europe and Rossini, you just don't know whether he's going to play him. My gut feel is they will play a strong team against Newcastle because he will know deep down inside they're not beating PSG by 4 goals. And if that's the case, you've got to start looking at the league and trying to play to make sure you end up in the Champions League next season. So I reckon Chelsea go all out in this game and will be really good. And then Bruno Fernandes, he by far and away is he's just the best option this week. Hands down, he's the best option. I mean, he's averaging the most points just behind Gabriel there. But he's playing in a Villa team that played midweek. He's well rested. He plays 90 minutes. He's on penalties, as lots of people love. He's on set pieces. He's on free kicks. He's literally the fulcrum of Man United. He is Man United. Let's not beat around the bush. And he should be big. I really think that he could be really big this week as well. So Bruno Fernandes, I think, is the number 1 captaincy shout this week. And that's at the moment where I'm at as well. So on to your confessions. Look, hands up in the chat. If you captained Haaland last week like the sheep that you are, just be honest. Be honest. I'm going to start answering some questions in the chat at the halfway mark here. And I know Gary captained Haaland because he followed the Trig, and the Trig followed the Harry, and the Harry followed the Let's Talk FPL Andy, who then who probably followed a team leak that got given to him, let's be fair. And they're all just a bunch of sheep. So, look, I do know that there were some people on the league that captained João Pedro, and you got 38 points. That is just insane. I can't believe that. I mean, I'm just glad I got his points off the bench. But yeah, I think he's good. No Salah, thanks for the... Yeah, Salah's been rubbish. He has been rubbish, I agree. Trig said in his garden, if you don't have wildcard, then you've blown it. I don't think so. I think if you've played your wildcard, you haven't blown it. I don't think that the blanks and doubles are going to be that good. So, as I said, maybe the real ultimate play was actually wildcarding earlier, like game week 24 or whatever, and just rolling with it from there. If you're 15 days ago, if I want to play this game week with too many uncertainties, I got Croc the Roofs and Mukiele on my bench. Might take it and sort that out. I wouldn't worry about Mukiele. I reckon he'll be back for game week 31. Still playing a bit of bench booster double game. Yeah, some people say that, but I just think that it comes down to the fixtures. Even if you look at the potential double game weeks, for Chelsea, it's Brighton and someone else. For Arsenal, it's Newcastle and Man City. Like the doubles aren't even going to be any good. They're not fixtures where you go, that's 2 fire games where they're just going to bang. It's just not going to happen this season. Unless Man City somehow overturn the 3-goal lead and then they get Burnley and bloody Brentford together. I mean, that could be a pretty nice double game week, but I just don't see that happening, to be honest with you. People taking Everton's away form for granted. But yeah, I agree. Maybe I am taking Everton's form away for granted, but they're coming up against the best defence in the league. I just don't see him scoring. But yeah, so a few people can see him scoring. Fair enough. I'm on Bruno Fernandes captain. I think it could be a decent matchup. Yeah, it could be. Best 150 captaincy options section. Yeah, you better believe it, Gary. For Wilson, but hopefully he's okay. Captain Semenyo, nice. What's good, D-Unit? What's up, Jack? Mate, I've got Mbumo, Bruno, Palmer. Mate, that's pretty good. Thinking of selling Mbumo and ever for... I don't mind it. I would do it. Yeah, I think Pedro and Wirtz look like two really good moves this week. Do you think O'Reilly starts? Honestly, I don't know who starts for Man City this week, but I think Mateus Nunes does, and I'm going to bench him. But yeah, we're going to talk about it in a second. All right, so I'm going to quickly keep getting your answers. Sorry, your questions, not your answers. I'm going to quickly end that poll as well. Let's see what's happening there really quickly. Bought in Kirkes for Munoz as a differential. Nice. Star of the week, Bruno. Flop of the week, Salah. Fair. Like it. Don't mind it. Did I just end that poll? Yeah, I did end that poll. Why is it not showing up? Don't know. I have no idea what happened to that poll. It just disappeared. All right, actually. Oh, there we go. Are you selling Haaland? No, 51%. Yes, 25%. Already don't have him, 24%. Okay, fair. Let's have a look. You captaining. All right, so we'll quickly whack it in. Who are you captaining this week? I'm going to put the options. Bruno. I'm going to put a Liverpool attacker. A City attacker. And I don't think I'm going to put Brentford attacker because I just feel like Brentford or Bournemouth attacker. There you go. I think that covers the most of the options. Look at that. I've managed to just squeeze that in on the poll there as well. All right, get your questions. Sorry, get your things in there. Let's crack on with the show. So, on to the differentials. I got cooked last week. Mateus Nunes really let me down here. 1 point was not acceptable. That was disappointing. Gary just keeps on targeting Burnley, and targeting Burnley seems to keep on working. So he got 6 points with Ndai, who didn't die in the arse this week. Stack 4 points there for the Trig. Not bad. Mikolenko, 6. Finally Kanji got a return, man. About time he got something because he's been woeful with this game. Nightmare won the week with 9 points from Kevin Dewsbury Hall. Well done to Nightmare. He nailed it this week. And look, FPL Ryan also captained him this week. So shout out to him for having the balls to do it because I was watching that stream and it was actually quite funny when he scored. He went a little bit over the top in the second half and I felt it was a bit fake. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good. And then, obviously, Roberto went for Sheshko, who obviously got the 2 points there as well. So on to the differentials for Gameweek 30. And look, Trigger's gone for Sade. Gary's gone for Dango, which is surprising because they're not playing Burnley, which is very interesting. They are playing Wolves. So I don't mind that. Every time Gary changes it up, it doesn't work for him. So I'm expecting Dango to blank and Sade to go big. Nightmare's going for Frimpong. If he starts, this looks like a surefire banker to a huge haul. That's if he starts. That's the key ingredient, if he starts. Anthony against Bournemouth home. I don't mind this. This is a cheeky shout from Roberto. Anthony's gone off the boil for a lot of people, but I quite like the pick. It's very differential. It's also highly risky, but I do feel like Bournemouth will concede in that game, and I think Anthony could be in with a shout of returning. Tavernier, I've talked about him. He's in the 1 week punts that I put in, along with Sade. They're both brilliant. And obviously, I've gone with Hincapi. And now Trout called this out. This is really funny, right? So Trout called it out, right, saying, I don't understand why he picked him. Then he basically went on to say, I don't see how Everton is scoring. Trout, make up your mind, mate. Either Hincapi is no good because Everton are going to score, or Arsenal are brilliant, and then he's a great pick because he's going to get at least 6 points because he's going to get a clean sheet. It can't be one or the. It can't be both. It has to be one or the other. So I actually think it's a good pick. There you go, Trout. Try and analyse that, buddy. All right, so on to the thing you can beat the D in the league. Unfortunately, I dropped back below 600 this week. 632 I'm down to now. Henry, the leader, he's on 1,903 points now, which is just insane. He's up to 11 overall. He's still hovering around. He's still in striking distance of winning the game. Can he do it? We'll have to wait and see. He went for an Ekatike captain last week. It just didn't quite bang for him, unfortunately. The lowest score, unfortunately, Paul, I know you watch this. Paul John, 36 points. It was a very disappointing night for you with that score. Bench disaster. This makes me scared that it's going to happen to me at some point. 38 points left on the bench for Alex Miller. I can't understand how he managed to leave 38 points on the bench. He must have had just everyone that was playing and just not able to get the points off the bench. It's just insane. Sharpest trader was Celestial Citizen FC, 11 points. Heinz Boateng was the manager there. It was a pretty low week in terms of the trading and stuff like that. On to the hit hero. Mackie Machine took a -8 and ended up with plus 16 points. Well done to you, Alon. That's the way you do it. I mean, I looked at the -8 that I was contemplating last week and actually would have got me a green arrow. So sometimes taking a bigger hit, as Nightmare likes to say, can actually work. No Chip Warrior was Bruno's Banter, 11. I like that. 96 points. Ahmed. I think that's how you say your name. Sorry, mate. If I've just butchered that, I apologise. On to the One Move King. God blimey Governors, 9 points from Mickey Austin Riley with his one move that he made. Well done there. Transfer Tangle, this didn't even involve a hit, folks. Poor Al Gold, a moment of silence for him. They weren't too valiant here. The valiant Palava was very unvaliant. His moves actually cost him 31 points and no hit was involved. No hit was involved in those moves, which is insane. And then the painful hit was won by Claret and Blue this week. They took a -4 and ended up with a -19 points from their transfers. Unlucky Mark Huet. But the manager of the week, along with No Chip Warrior, was Bruno's Banter 11. Yahya Ahmed, 96 points, mate. Fantastic stuff. Good work there. So on to the memes of the week. And look, let's be fair. To-do list. I've obviously there's a high. I mean, I've put the results there from the Champions League in the memes of the week because the Premier League claims itself as the best league all season, and all season I've been saying how crap the football's been, and you all know what the difference is. You want to know why the Premier League got absolutely roasted midweek by the champions in the Champions League? Because all they play in the Premier League is set-piece FC. The entire game of English football has become about set pieces. And you want to know something? No other team in Europe's doing set-piece FC. They're actually playing football. And what happens when you're relying on set-piece FC when you come up against really good football? You better believe it. You get absolutely spanked. Real Madrid spanking Man City 3-0. PSG spanking Chelsea 5-2. Even Arsenal, the bottlers, drawing 1-1 away. Galatasaray beating Liverpool 1-0. I mean, Liverpool focus all these on set pieces, mate. Can't even beat someone from the Turkish league. Turn it up. Atletico Madrid rinsing the floor of Spurs 5-2. The only club that can hold their heads up and hold up with a little bit of respect this week for me is Newcastle. Newcastle gave Barcelona a game and they were probably unlucky not to take a lead to the Camp Nou this week. They're the only one where I sit there and go, they're probably going to give a pretty good account of themselves next week because Eddie Howe does not do set-piece FC. In regards to the rest, Spurs might as well be out. Chelsea might as well be out. Man City might as well be out. Arsenal, you would think, will probably win via a set-piece. And Liverpool, I mean, are they going to score 2 goals? I'm not so sure they do, to be honest. And then obviously the Footium. When I'm in Footium competition, my opponent is a D-Unit. That's what Gary and everyone else in the League 7 were thinking this year. There we go. What gives people feelings of power? Money, status, and selling Haaland. That was what I was looking at before. And I put Luke here. I hope you're watching this back, Luke, at some point. So Luke provided me a photo thinking he was the bee's knees with at Footium and thought he was going to roll the D-Unit. The dude got spanked. 7-2 and 5-2. So turn it up, Luke. You're making the meme section, even though you didn't supply me that one. And then to-do list, obviously getting knocked out of the Champions League, can almost tick that one off. And then the next one's obviously get relegated. I mean, who are we talking about? We're talking about Spurs there. And then Rahi getting excited when he sees a little bit of admin banter chat in the admin chat. In reality, it's just a goose. So, on to the card calls to Game Week 29. It wasn't a good week for the card. 5 wrong, 2 correct, 1 draw. And I've realised I've got 14 minutes here to get through the rest of this because I'm about to join some Footium thing after this, so I'm going to have to quickly rush through this. Either way, the card's now down to 95 correct, 30 draws, 109 wrong for the season. Not overly good. The cards team is rolling. FYI, the card got 73 points in Game Week 29. Absolutely smoked me. No hits were taken. It's now up to 4.8 million. Can you believe the card is actually in the top half of teams that play it? This week it's captaining Cole Palmer. It's vice captaining João Pedro. I don't know how it does it. It's beaten me the last 3 weeks. I'm just glad I haven't played in the head-to-head league. But yeah, the cards team's looking, half decent. So, on to the random card questions for Game Week 30. Honest answer, yes, no. Are Spurs going to go down? Apparently no. That's unfortunate. Will the number of Premier League teams in Europe be halved? No, apparently. Maybe it's going to be cut in 3/4. Is it a good week to bench boost? No. Will Saturday or Sunday have more goals? So Saturday, Sunday? Sunday, I thought it would. Man United play Sunday, that's why. Can South Park go a 4th season in a row undefeated? Oh no, my run's coming to an end. Is Chig going to captain Haaland when Harry does? Yes. Bet you he does, the card knew. Will the Trout respond to the D-Unit's bait? No, I knew he wouldn't, bastard. Will this be a weekend of rotation? Yes. Is Salah like the ultimate trap? No, apparently. The card reckons it's not an ultimate trap. All right, and on to the actual card calls for this week, and I've got some good ones here as well. So, João Pedro versus the DCL unit. It's going with the DCL unit. Salah versus Haaland. In case anyone was doing it, it's going with Mo Salah. Maybe the card might know something here. Binderson versus Anderson. No, Harry will like this one. Apparently it's gone for Binderson, so we know the card's got that one wrong. Mateus Nunes versus Canade. Oh, it's hard. I have to redo that one. It didn't want to call it. All right, it's going with Mateus Nunes. Verts versus Dirty Dom. It's going with Verts. Rogers versus Mbumo. Wow, it's gone for all the ones on the left. Rogers, except for the João Pedro. Bart Simpson versus Sanchez. It's gone for Sanchez. I finally went for the other side again. And then the last one, which is quite relevant this week, considering these teams have got half a chance of a clean sheet. Collins versus Senesi, and it's gone with Collins. All right. Yoda Murat segment. There's no birthdays this week in the group chat. No one. No one's got birthdays this week. There's a few at the tail end of next week, so we'll cover that in the late mail for Game Week 31. The Game Week 29 winners of the score predictions are 3 out of 10 again correct for the Baz, Brian, and BGZ Lab. I'm assuming that's your name. Either way, well done, guys. I mean, Baz has been pretty hot the last few things. I wonder if it's that big Barry's balls and he just comes in the chat and just winds me up occasionally. All right, my score predictions for Game Week 30. I'm going with a 1-1 draw for Burnley versus Bournemouth. Yes, I know. I can't believe it. I'm going for a shock draw. I reckon Sunderland versus Brighton reeks of a 0-0 result. I can't see a world where that game's overly exciting, to be honest. I think it's just going to be really low scoring. I think Arsenal do Everton 1-0. I think it'll be another boring game from Arsenal, but I think they'll get the job done and they'll keep the pressure on City to keep winning or whatever. Chelsea versus Newcastle. I'm going with a Chelsea 3-2 win against Newcastle. I think that game's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be an entertaining football game. And I think both teams can't defend. So what does that normally mean? Lots of goals or a 0-0. I'm going with lots of goals. I think Man City get the job done just against West Ham. I'm going with a 2-1 win there for Man City to try and keep the pressure on Arsenal. Crystal Palace versus Leeds has that game actually reeks of a 1-1 draw, I reckon. Man United versus Aston Villa. I think Man United, the 10 days off should hopefully, if they don't win against Aston Villa, Carrick needs to be shown the door and they need to actually go and employ a good manager because he should be winning comfortably that game with 10 days of rest. And with Aston Villa's midfield problems, he should just be able to account for them. Nottingham Forest versus Fulham. I think that game's also another game where there's a goal for each team, 1-1 there. Liverpool versus Spurs. I think we're all expecting Liverpool to cream Spurs, but we're forgetting that Liverpool aren't actually in that good a form. So I think Liverpool will win the game 2-0. Brentford versus Wolves. I'm going with a big not a big Brentford win, but a decent win for Brentford here. 3-1 against Wolves. I think that they're probably going to do pretty well there. So I'm on my hot takes in for Game Week 30. Expect a bunch of random benchings and again some weird results. We saw them in Game Week 29. We're going to get more of them in Game Week 30. I just got a feeling. Even my score predictions have been miles off in some weeks because the teams just haven't performed as I thought they would perform. 6 English teams to exit Europe next week. 6 out of the 9, I reckon, exit Europe next week. That's my gut read. We'll see if I'm correct or not. Anderson to smash Binderson. I know the card picked it the other way, but I'm definitely all in on Anderson smashing Binderson into the bin. Wolves to fall apart as Brentford assets save managers on Monday Night Football. You heard it here first. Rolling for once might actually be the best players. We're about to have a look at my team. And a lack of clean sheets again will be in focus. Like, there's just not going to be many clean sheets between now and the end of the season, I reckon. And Arsenal to go even further clear this week. I've got a sneaky suspicion. I know I picked a Man City 2-1 win against West Ham. I've got a sneaky suspicion somehow Man City cock it up because West Ham are actually in some really good form at the minute. So, quick, your last questions in, and we're going to have a quick look at my team as things stand before the deadline stream tomorrow. So, actually, before we do that, though, get your questions in the chat. We'll start answering. Well done to these people. Where's my shirt? Where's my FPL D-Unit shirt? Here we go. These people are winning themselves a shirt because they finished second and third. So, Newey Rovers, that's managed by Cal, one of the boys in the WhatsApp chat. I've actually ordered your shirt. It's they reckon from when you order it to when you get it, it's 4 weeks. So yours has been ordered, and so has Matt's. Both ordered. So England City, I mean, they went neck and neck the entire season. There was 1 goal splitting them between it. And obviously Brittle City, my team, won. Let's be fair. So I'm going to take credit for that. But look, I sent a couple of blokes down there that I probably shouldn't have, that were really there for training, but they smoked most of everyone else in there. The good news is this season, Div 8 League 7 will actually be a really good contest because the teams will all be evenly matched. Me and Luke have left the league, and I'm going to smash Luke in Division 7 and send him straight back down to Division 8. That's the plan. And South Park, as you can see there, I mean, all my 3 teams undefeated this season. If you want to try it out, there'll be a new competition to win a new shirt. Season 17 starts in about 9 days' time. To enter, you need to sign up first, which is the barcode on the left. It's actually also in the stream description. And also to enter the comp, it's there on the right-hand side as well. That's the comp you need to be in order to actually win the FPL D-Unit shirt, which, as you can see there, that's where it is. So onto my team. This is not the right team. I put the wrong team in. That's not the right one. Oh, dear. That's not my team. All right, we're just going to wrap it there. My team this week, I've made no transfers, right? We're going to quickly go through my team, and I'm going to just correct what's on the screen. At the moment, Bart Simpson's in goal. Sanchez is on the bench. Mateus Nunes is on the bench. Gabriel's on the field. Canade and Virgil are both starting as things stand. Bruno Fernandes is the captain. Brian and Bumo, they're both playing against Aston Villa at home. Wirtz is obviously not in the team. Why the hell is this here? I've got no idea. So Wirtz is not in the team. Semenyo is not the captain, but he's in the team. Who the hell is instead of Wirtz? Oh, Sade's in the team. Sorry, Sade's Wirtz. Wilson's on the bench. João Pedro's on field. Haaland is Ekatike. That's the team for Gameweek 30. I've made an absolute meal of that, so don't bother looking at that. That's just completely wrong. I've just put the wrong slide in. Bench boost 33 or 35. I just pick a week where it's good com. Gary or Delusional You to be on top by the lock-in. I reckon D-Unit. Actually, no, Gary will be. Gary's going to have more players play. All mine play on Sunday, so Gary should be in front. Unless Liverpool play on Saturday. Do Liverpool play on Saturday? Maybe they do. Liverpool play on Saturday, don't they? Maybe I won't. Actually, I'm not sure. I might be in front. We'll have to wait and see. If Gary captains Haaland, I'll definitely be in front. It's between Thiago and Ekatike, captaincy for me. If I end up captaining Ekatike and bench, yep, fair. McAllister or Gakpo to transfer in. I would go with Gakpo out of those ones, to be honest. Not sure if Frimpong or Gomez start. Yeah, that's the other problem, is that there's just so many weird things that could happen this week that I'm just not sure what we'll do. Dina, would you do Haaland or Ekatike and creepy to Pedro for a -4? 100%, yes. Cold Palmer, I like that. Bench Munoz, Anderson, Forrest or Thiago. I'll be benching Munoz. I heard the DCL unit's got a little, not yet, on his knee. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Sorry about the lock-in this week. You're all good, Kanji. You're all good. What's Kanji asking me here? D-Unit? I'm curious. You're curious about, yeah, fair. Round 3 of the D-Unit Cup this game week. Count Doku, nice. Brian do set pieces, true. Karabag does set pieces, true. They're just not very good at them. I was going to captain Gabriel this week, but then I reminded myself that Evan have got like the tall set. Yeah, that's fair. As Ryan gets the hole and not the Gary View pick tab. Yeah, nice. I'm back on Gab. Highest point. Yeah, exactly. He is. Probably Ekatike, hopefully, or Spurs can help him. Nice. What's good to why are you against Salah? I just think that Salah doesn't start, mate. That's why I'm against him. I've all season I've said he's been a trap, and he has been a trap for most of this season. Is it fine to sell Evan Nilsson for João Pedro before Burnley? Yes. Start Enzo or sell Tavernier? I would start Tavernier. Oh, no. I'll sell the Tavernier. Sorry. I'd start Enzo. I'd just start him. He's going to play. Anderson and Hill for free, yes. All day long. You can tick that one off, Heather. Tick that one off, baby. It's definitely a good move to have. All right, folks, I'm going to join you all tomorrow for the deadline stream. We've got the live watch-alongs tomorrow, all Saturday night long. I'm off to go and do some Footium stuff in a minute. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the late mail and enjoy. If you sat through the first minute and thought, where the hell's the sound? Hopefully you made it all the way there. And if you did, please smash a like on the stream as well before you leave as well. Would you do João Pedro and Verts in or Palmer and João Pedro? Would you do João Pedro and Verts in? I would do Palmer and João Pedro. I'm not like, I just feel like that's going to be a really good shout. Anderson Hill for free. I said, I'd definitely do Hill. Save the money. Is there adoption watch? Yeah, next week, mate. Tomorrow, baby. Tomorrow. On that note, ladies and gents, thank you very much for joining. I've been the D-Unit. I'll see you all tomorrow. Good luck in game week 30. I was going to say 36, and I was like, hold on, that's 6 game week's time. Good luck in game week 30. Hope it's a green arrow for all you out, the wonderful people out there.